My name is Brian Matias. Welcome to this episode of What's in My Bag. This series is about showing the gear that I'm packing for any major trip. And this trip in particular is different because I'm heading down to Nicaragua for the first time as part of a workshop with The Giving Lens. Now, I really enjoyed The Giving Lens. It was started by a good friend of mine named Colby Brown, and they basically pair up a photo workshop style model while working with a local NGO or non-government organization. So in this case, we're actually going to be working with Empowerment International and helping the youth there learn photography. And in that process, we're going to work with our photography workshop students. It's going to be a really great time, and I'm so excited about it. Primarily because normally, if you look at the other episodes in this series, the gear that I show is quite different. I'm bringing a lot more bodies and a lot more lenses, and it's more landscape and kind of night photography in nature. This trip is going to be heavily portrait and street, which are two things that are very, very kind of foreign to me. So I'm really, really excited about this opportunity. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the gear that I'm bringing. I'm going to try to go a little light here, but let's walk through it. So the first thing is the camera. This is the Sony a7 II. The a7R II, the hotly anticipated new camera replacing the a7R, should be out in about a week. So unfortunately I didn't have a chance to get it in time for this trip, but the a7 II is one of my favorite cameras, and I'm pairing it with Peak Design's Slide, which is their camera strap. I love this camera strap. It just works great and it doesn't fling around. The reason why it's so important, why I'm highlighting my camera strap in this video, is because, like I said, street and portrait primarily handheld. So I want a good strap. I also want a good hand strap. So this is also Peak Design's clutch. So the Slide and the clutch are kind of brother-sister products. And the reason why I particularly love the clutch when paired with the a7 II is the new ergonomics of the a7 II allow for my index finger, or my trigger finger, to reach. Whereas with the a7R, the a7S, and the a7, I actually had to take my index finger out because it was positioned a little bit further back on the camera body. So this is my first camera. I am bringing a second camera. I actually debated about this. I don't need a second camera. I'm not expecting to do any of that kind of two-body work, but it's more just as a backup, just in case. Also, there will be some landscape photography, but for that, I'm just going to bring my good old a7R, its last hurrah, because next week I'll be getting my a7R II. This lovely guy is probably going to hit Fred Miranda or some site and find happy home somewhere else. But he's treated me really well, and so he deserves one last vacation. All right, now before I get to the lenses, I'm actually taking a third body, but you'll see why. This little guy here is the Sony RX100 Mark IV. This just came out a couple of weeks ago, and the reason why I'm bringing this, other than it's such a small and powerful camera with a little pop-up LED viewfinder, which I love, is it records 4K video. They're 5-minute clips, but still, I don't think I'm going to be recording more than 5-minute clips in 4K. So if I'm walking around and I do want to get some video, maybe of the children playing, or there's just something that is worth capturing in motion, this little guy's going to come out. And it's so small, it really doesn't count. So let's go to the glass. I am bringing 2 telephoto lenses with me, just to have. I think that they warrant being brought. The first is the good old Sony Zeiss 16 to 35 millimeter f4. This is for primarily the landscape shooting that we're going to be doing. The few times that we will be doing it, I think this lens will be worth it. And then the second lens is the Sony 70-200 f4, which is also native for full frame EMOUNT Sony cameras. I feel like going to Nicaragua, having a long lens would probably be a safe bet, even for landscapes, and also for street if I'm kind of standing at a distance and I kind of want to get tight on something. What I'm super excited about, though, are a pair of lenses that are just starting to hit the streets. and they are made by Zeiss, and they are the bodice lenses. So the first one is what I'm probably going to use the most of. This is the Zeiss bodice 85mm 1.8 prime, and this is going to be what I'm going to use to kind of overcome the challenges for myself of shooting portrait and street. When I'm photographing a waterfall or a stream or something, I don't need to get close and I don't need to interact. So I've used this lens, and I've used, just to bring it out, it's a younger brother, the bodice 25mm f2. I've used these lenses extensively a few weeks ago when I went to Iceland and Norway, and I want to thank my partners at Zeiss for sending these out to me both times for this trip and for that trip. These lenses are exceptional. They're razor sharp, and they have this really cool OLED display that shows you your the distance from the camera to the subject, so you're kind of focusing distance. For me, this is exceptionally important because when I do star photography, finding that true infinity point on the lens is sometimes hard to read out. But here, even at night, this little display is quite brilliant, and it shows me exactly when I hit infinity point or any other distance, as well as the f-stop. So it's not something I've ever seen on a lens. I think this is a first, and it's just one of those little innovations that I hope to see with more lenses. The other thing that I love about this lens is it has this rubberized focus ring, so it's just really easy to grip. It's just one of those little things. Of course, the glass itself is amazing and puts out really nice contrasty poppy images. So I can't wait to get it in Nicaragua and start photographing all the beautiful people and places. Now, beyond that, that's the gear for the most part. I have my typical complement of SD cards and batteries, and I've got these lens wipes, which I love, and I keep saying, I forgot the name of the company, but I bought it on Amazon. Magic Fiber. So Magic Fiber, I think it was like $12 for 13 of these lens wipes. They're the perfect size, they're good quality. And then in terms of processing, so I'm bringing my 13-inch MacBook Pro with me, Retina. Because first of all, I usually edit on the road. I like editing. I get home from the shoot and it's time to wind down, so I'm going to edit. The other thing that I like to do, and also because it's a kind of a workshop, if any of the students are up for just kind of sitting around and jamming on computers, I'm more than happy to kind of walk through my editing workflow and get that side of the photo education in. Now I'm also taking, just let me grab these two Gtech, Gtechnology EV ATC cases. These also go with me everywhere. And inside them each have a 500 gigabyte solid state Gtechnology drive. One of these this is a USB 3 model, and then I have this one open just so you can see. This is a Thunderbolt model. So you just slide the drive in. It is just great because it's drop proof, dust proof, waterproof, and actually in Nicaragua we're expecting quite a bit of rain, I think, in addition to some heat and humidity. So one of these will always go with me in my bag, and then the other one will have the same exact information, photos and files backed up to it every night. That will stay in the hotel. So I always have a copy here and there. And then to edit, also I'm bringing my Wacom. This is an Intuos 5 small. So this is the smallest one. It's perfect. It kind of here, I'll show you. It's basically the same form factor as the laptop, so it kind of sits easily in my bag. As for my bag, I'm taking it's just crazy, the f-stop Loca. This is the smallest of their Adventure Series bags, and it has since been replaced, I believe, with the Ajna, if you go to their website. So it's a good sized bag, it holds everything, and then I'm not expecting to use this too often. This is my travel really right stuff tripod, my big boy's over there in the background. But this is really small, it's very, very light. I'm actually gonna put it in my check bags. And just in case we need it for the landscape photography or the or if we happen to do any night photography, tripod would be good. So there's that. And the last thing that I wanted to highlight are my filters. So normally I have a large filter hive. That's the name of the product by Mindshift Gear, which has a bunch of different filters, both screw-on and drop-in kind of 4x4 filters. For this, because I'm hardly going to be using filters, I'm just bringing screw-on filters, and the one that I'm using the most is this polarizer. So these are all Format High-Tech filters. I have a 3-stop, a 6-stop, and a 9-stop filter that's going with me, along with the polarizer. And the 2 zoom lenses are 72 millimeter threads. The 2 bodice lenses are 67 millimeter threads, so I have adapter rings for both of them, or step-up rings, a 67 to 77 and a 72 to 77 millimeter step-up, because these are all 77 millimeter lens or filters. So it's a kind of a different approach. I have stuff in case we are going to do landscape, but these 2 guys here, the bodice lenses, are what I'm looking forward to using the most, especially with trying to cut my teeth on more of the portrait style photography. Not portrait, I don't expect to necessarily have the posing kind of portraits, but that kind of street and candid life photography. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I look forward to sharing the photos from this trip with you soon. Thanks a lot, everyone.